Well, the winds were up, as you can hear in the background. Some good stuff yesterday. Denmark and France under 21, the first profit. Nice and simple one. This one, very, very good odds for France, +1, 2.32 relative, 2.38 relative to the market. A goal down, dominating the momentum. Strong in-play stats, had a goal disallowed. Really good stuff. It was a risk given the type of match where it's very difficult at times for us to split the two teams. Sarpsborg was the other one of interest yesterday. You got two options. You go match odds or you go +1. If you go +1, you cover the draw. If you go match odds, you ideally need the win to really make a profit because you will make a loss if it ends a draw. So do bear that in mind in the future. There's always two options, at least for members of Football Trading Profits. It's +1 or it's match odds. So those were the two plays yesterday. Good stuff. Tennis. I watched the Bublik match out of interest from a trading perspective. I'm just going to have to close the window now because the rains are coming. The rainy season is with us here in Thailand. Bublik actually won in 2 sets, but Medvedev in the tiebreaker in the second set was 4-1 up. Therein lies your exit. In such a tight match as this, you don't wait for him to win the set. You wait for the out. So that was a good lesson there. If you did speculatively lay Alcaraz, well done after the first set win. His odds are going to be so short, you might as well lay him. As you get deeper into a tournament, it makes sense to target this very, very strong favourite because he's obviously meeting a player who's in current seasonal form or current recent form. Quite obviously, if you're going deep in a tournament. Lofhagen, that's a beautiful English name. Herr Lofhagen. I am an Englander, yeah. He's doing tremendous. 2 consecutive matches now for Lofhagen, where he's been the underdog and has got through. Must have a lot of support, the Brit, playing a fellow Brit. So disappointing to see Harris not competitive in that second set. Monday, not happy for him. Jack Duckworth back to the Rovers return after winning 2 straight sets. Vera won't be having a go at him. Done a tremendous job. Bought some money back for her so she can go off and get some food at the local corner shop. Fantastic stuff. Let's have a look at today's football. And for a Monday, it's very busy. Monday is my day off. Just want to show you how I look for leagues of interest. It's all in alphabetical order. Work your way down until you find a league of interest, the Irish Premier Division. Bang, Irish First Division. Click on that pin, pins it to the top of soccer24.com. Norwegian OBOS-ligaen. This is, I think, the bottom 2. It's a scary affair. Funavos is playing today, by the way. Great name. Move on down in alphabetical order to pick up the leagues that you recognise, and that will be your primary focus today. You don't play friendlies, of course, and you don't play the FIFA World Club Cup. Just not worth it. Unless you go for goals angles, and it's up to whether they turn up or not. But Seattle Sounders are going to get soundly thrashed, aren't they, by Champions League champions who soundly thrashed the mighty Inter Milan. So that should be fun. So these are the matches today, and I've done neutral angles for members of footballtradingprofits.com. I won't be sharing them with you. They were very successful yesterday, these angles, for the last 2 days. Neutral. In leagues such as this over the summer, there are trust issues. Look at St. Pat's having trouble scoring at home now, where prior to that, they were scoring for fun, scored in 10 consecutive homes, failed to score in the last home match as well. So slight problems there. So more detailed research will be going to members of footballtradingprofits.com. It's not fair to share it with you. I put in a lot of hours because I have to do this manually rather than relying on AI to churn out the reviews for me using existing information. I have to do this manually. You can see It's very bereft of reviews. So it takes a long time. So in that regard, I'm not too keen on sharing the absolute nuggets with you here. You'll have to join footballtradingprofits.com for that kind of info. But let's take a quick peek at these two. Bohemians were very poor in their last match when odds-on favourite away from home. They did score. Shamrock Rovers, let's have a look at them. Ticking all the boxes, unbeaten in 8 and in 11 away, scoring for fun, expect second half goals. Boom. They look excellent, but 2.15 the favourite does suggest that the market thinks Bohemians will offer some competitiveness here. 2.45 the favourite should have you ringing the alarm bells. Cork City against Drogs. Cork City are your archetypal newly promoted struggler, aren't they? Both teams tend to score at home, but Drogheda no win away. That's why it's 2.45 the favourite. Drogheda's so poor that they could give this newly promoted Cork City something to think about. 30% over 2.5 goals is what I'll take from me from this match. That's in Galway's favour. Away teams tend to score first at Sligo Rovers, so I don't think there will be a trading angle in there unless you go neutral, and I'll save the neutral for the members. Neutral plays are in the daily bulletin, members, and I will, if I'm up and about, because it is my day off, if I'm up at 7:45, which is nearly heading towards 2 a.m. my time, I might be up because I need to make some dosh, and some of these are readable. I will pass on the neutral plays for members on Telegram. Really good fun with them in the last 2 days, and I think it's a good angle for these untrustworthy sides, isn't it? Sligo Rovers, for example, tend to concede. St. Pat's, talking of untrustworthy sides, this is going to be difficult for me to trust St. Pat's today. Failed to score in the last match at home, where they had scored prior quite easily. So a watching brief on this one. There is neutral plays, but they'll be for members. Waterford and Shelburne, let's have a look at this one. Head-to-heads were 1-0, but the seasonal stats are pointing at a first half goal for these two. That is a neutral play, so I'll give you that for nothing. It's a difficult match to unpack, as you can tell, for 2.45, the favourite. That's why we go neutral. For those of you wondering what neutral means, neutral involves both teams. So rather than picking Bohemians and Shamrock Rovers, picking one of those two to win, you'll be looking at how those two teams can benefit you. i.e. goals markets, that's neutral, isn't it? Draw market, that's neutral. Both teams to score, yes, is neutral. It involves both teams. 2-2 scoreline is neutral, isn't it? That involves both teams. And you're covering the first team to score 2 goals as well. So neutral is the way to go in these lower tiers. And it's something I'm going to be continuing on into the new seasons. We'll be having an angles focus on each match, which is what the statistics say and what my personal opinion is, because I'm with these teams day in, day out. So I just know a little bit of additional insight and inkling. So I add that. But the neutral, that's purely going to be focusing on these draw markets. Lay the draw second half, lay the 1-1 second half. That's neutral. Doesn't matter who scores. And it's come to our aid, hasn't it? When we've laid the draw in a couple of matches recently, the team we don't expect to score has scored a late winner to end that draw. And that's what neutral is all about. It's excellent stuff. 0-0, laying the 0-0 is a neutral, isn't it? Backing 0-0 is neutral because you're involving both teams. Let's have a look at the Irish First Division then. Bray against UCD. 7 wins in 8 at home. And a UCD struggling to win and conceding easily against the top 5 away. I don't understand 2.23 the favourite. The stats lines are clearly indicative of a solid Bray performance, but you've got to respect the market. A little lukewarm, but it is shortening, and that is to be expected. I would expect it to be a little bit shorter come the off. Cobh, Ramblers and Kerry. Kerry are going through a very unexpected solid run. I think only 1 loss in 6, which is very, very unlike Kerry. I used to live in Kerry. So long ago, they didn't have a football team. They had a Gaelic team, but they didn't have a football team. Now they're performing rather nicely. Recently, they're normally the whipping boys. Just remember, co-branders have scored in the last 10. So remember that if Kerry were to take the lead. Finn Harps and Dundalk. Dundalk are unbeaten this season. That's why you're getting 1.37. So that's your general angle. Unbeaten. Are they going to remain unbeaten if Finn Harps score first? That's your angle for that match. Nice and simple. Not nice and simple. 2.5 the favourite. Longford and Athlone. 2 1-1s in head-to-heads. A bottom three clash. 2.5 the favourite. Don't be a hero. There are some matches where there's so many red flags, they've had to open a red flag factory to make them. And this is one match in point. Leave it alone, unless the in-play stats speak. Treaty and Wexford, odds on at home. And a side well worth following in my mind. But they're meeting a Wexford side who don't mind being on the road. Treaty have been in excellent recent form. Solid at home, but only 2 away defeats for Wexford. That is why I think Wexford are going to be a little bit competitive here today against Treaty. But Treaty are excellent at home. 5 wins in 6 at home. So this is going to be a nice competitive fixture. It's all about whether you take a pre-match route and trust Treaty's recent momentum to continue at home. Because Wexford, as I say, are pretty good away. Mjøndalen and Skye, I think this is a bottom 2 clash. It's 2.5 the favourite. It's a get your coat match, this one. But Mjøndalen come into this unbeaten in 3 matches, which, well, the mayor of Mjøndalen has called a national holiday. They're unbeaten in 3. So they could be very competitive here, of course, against bottom Skye. Umia failed to score. Then suddenly have a brain fart. 3-3 and a 2-2, and then go back to sleep in the last match, failing to score. So Umia do have 2 or 3 goals in them at their very best, but they did revert to type in the last match, failing to score. Helsingborg, let's have a look at them. Enough said, 4 out of 4 wins to 0 against teams around Umia in the league. And to end it, Sundsvall and Trelleborg already got the red flags up here, 2.5 the favourite. Trelleborg have failed to score in the last 9. So why aren't Sundsvall very strong favourite? Why? Because Sundsvall love winning away from home. They are absolute pants at home. Those are the matches today. If I'm up and about, I will be giving a bonus Telegram session to members with a neutral angle, which has worked so well for us these last 2 days. Have a look at today's tennis. Wimbledon qualifiers. I love a Grand Slam. So that's going to be excellent. I'm not sure whether these qualifiers are 5-setters for the men's. So we will find that out once the first couple of matches get going. Because once you get 5-setters for the men's, you've got your trading angle for your Grand Slams. You saw it work so effectively in the French Open. And it's something I'm getting Gemini to analyse is the ability. I'm looking at a number of tennis angles for us. The more we can build up our information and the more we can integrate tennis into the whole trading environment for us. The next, of course, will be horse racing, trying to suss out horse racing trading, make it a triumvirate here at footballtradingprofits.com. Plenty of work for me upcoming. I won't be playing the qualifiers, but do keep an eye on the Brits, of course, particularly when they're underdogs, like old Toffhagen, Herr Toffhagen, the Brit, having a great tournament. So we've got Hussey, we've got Jubb. Who else have we got? We've got Stewart, that's a lovely English name, Stewart. I wonder if he wears a kilt, that Brit. And Story, see, I have a Story today. He's away. He's not away. I've got my football head on. He's playing a Chilean. Belisashvili, that beautiful English name. No, it's not English, of course. Georgian. I'm getting the flags mixed up. Choinsky, another Brit. So just keep an eye on your Brits. Locals in the local tournaments is a nice opening gambit for you to have matches to focus on. CC Peniston, the soul singer, is a very strong favourite against Banyas today. Any others? So lots of Brits. Andy Gray playing a Bouquier. And that's it. Don't forget fellow country people meeting each other. Could know each other's games. You often see very competitive when they're playing each other. Well, that's different matches. So look out for the flags. This is just my personal take on tennis, and it seems to work for me. I don't get too in depth into the service stats, this and that. You can go as deep as you want into tennis and really play the games, because there are trading angles for scalpers, particularly service games. You'll see a swing. If the opponent wins his service game, the opponent's odds will go up. And when the other player responds by winning his service game, the odds will go down. So you've got a kind of a scalp option there. And the market won't go too far astray if you get something like a 3-3 turning into a 4-3 into a 5-3. So it's a very interesting angle. Let's have a look at any tournaments still while the qualifiers are on. Eastbourne. Any Brits? Danny Evans, 2.3. He's not the highest ranked Brit out there. Don't have any strong opinions on any of these players. And in Mallorca, let's have a look. Corentin Moutet stands out for me as a quality player in this kind of a tournament. So I'll be looking at that with interest. And in Bad Homburg, we're going to get to see Zverev again. He must be fuming not making the final in Halle. But we've got Siegmund. He's not a favourite. So watch out to Azarenka. This is the ladies. So if Azarenka wins the first set, again, she's odds on to be even shorter. Naomi Osaka might be a little bit vulnerable. She is a bit flaky mentally. That would be one to look at as well. So look for any Germans. We've got Siegmund. And in Eastbourne, any Brits out there? F. Jones, that beautiful Welsh-British name, Jones. Two, are they Australians meeting each other? Or very similar flags at least. Might know each other's games. And that would be it. So I've got a little bit to look at star-wise, but that doesn't negate a trading angle. All dependent, particularly these very, very short price favourites. Playing a Brit. So Asmane, layable, winning the first set. You're going to get under 1.1. Tarvet, in front of home support. Qualifier is local country. Boom. He could give a good account. Probably the ATP rankings are far in differential. Have a great day today. It is normally my day off today, but we're heading towards 2 p.m. and I still haven't finished the work. I've got a podcast to send and I've got to get this video and research out to you. Have a great day. I might see you at 7:45 if for some reason I'm up and about. If not, have a great day. What is my day off? And I'll see you again tomorrow for what looks a quiet coupon, or is it? You know now how to look through for any matches of interest, and it looks like a day off tomorrow. The Swedish Cup I wouldn't be getting involved with. So it's a day off, unless you're interested in the FIFA World Club Cup, which I won't be researching at all. It's a Mickey Mouse tournament. Trading angles, certainly, from a goals perspective, if you can trust these kind of odds, of course. 1.01 suggests 7-0, 8-0, 9-0, that kind of thing. And goals before half-time, of course, first half goals over 2.5 goals. If it's 0-0 after 15, 20 minutes, that kind of a trading angle could work. And it's neutral again, isn't it? Into Miami, the King Messi is about. Had the privilege of seeing him in Bangkok and during a training session. Wonderful. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. And I might see members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram if I'm up and about.